What's going on, y'all? So, I basically was reading a report where they were talking about Uber and Lyft, and they were saying prepare to pay more for Uber or Lyft ride. Now, as I was reading this story, I'm gonna give y'all a little, little bits and pieces of what I read in the story. What I seen in the story did not shock me because mainly it was talking about they don't really have enough drivers to basically support the riders. And in some cases, they were saying they had high demand areas where they had riders, but they didn't have any drivers. So what they were doing was giving the drivers that were not in that area incentives to basically go pick up the riders in these high demand areas. So of course, if you're giving them incentives, that's not free money. So what's going to happen is they're going to charge the rider more money. So if a trip normally costs you $15, it may now cost you $30 or $35 because you're in a high demand area and we don't have, or they don't have, my fault, they don't have a driver in that area. So they basically requested a driver from a farther distance than normal from you to come pick you up. And it also said something about a lot of people, as far as drivers, are still, they're scared, with the whole pandemic that we went through and with the vaccination out here. I can still believe and understand why people will be concerned about driving multiple people per day in their vehicle. And I know some of these vehicles, people were putting like plastic along and dividing themselves from the actual riders, but still, with the virus still being out there, it's still an opportunity. Even like people, even if the people in your car are vaccinated, and if you're vaccinated, do you still believe that is a chance that something could happen? Something could linger to where it could eventually, come back and haunt you, as far as catching the virus or whatever. Yeah, so I can understand why they don't have drivers and why they actually basically put in incentives to actually recruit and hire more drivers. I don't know the actual numbers of what they're trying to do, but they actually put in a report that they're actually trying to recruit new drivers, and they're, I guess, giving them sign-on fees and stuff like that, or not sign-on fees, sign-in bonuses. Normally when you get if you ever seen a job like for 18 wheelers, like they'll give you like a $2,000 signing bonus. Like if you sign to drive with such and such company, they give you $2,000. So they're probably doing some type of incentive. I don't know what the money is, but it's going to be some type of money incentive to recruit drivers. Now, I was seeing where some of the reports were showing that some of the charges are like 40% more or even higher. So just imagine if a trip costs you $10 and you're paying double that. That slowly can take effect of your pockets, especially if you're someone that actually using an Uber or Lyft to go back and forth to work, and you have to basically take your money and pay bills per month. So now you're taking your Uber and your Lyft rides and you're adding into your monthly bill situation. So if the ride is doubling or tripling as far as money wise, now you have to really, really think hard. Like, do I catch an Uber or Lyft every day like I normally do? Do I catch a bus? Do I ask a friend that I work with? If we work like the same hours or right around the same time, hey, maybe I'll get up a couple hours earlier. If that person's shift is, say my shift is at 7 o'clock and his shift is at 9, not my fault. Let's just say if the person that's driving the vehicle, that's my friend that I work with, coworker, if their shift is at 5 o'clock and my shift is at 7, maybe I have to get up early and just go to work and be there early just to save some time and, of course, save money. Because if you catch a bus, you have to probably catch multiple buses. So you would have to try to figure out a way to maybe cut your Uber or Lyft rides down in order to save money. But at the end of the day, with the traveling and with people out and about, of course, that was going to be the main reason why, too, the prices are going to go up. But this is going to be a major concern for some people that actually catch Ubers and Lyft You have to budget yourself around that. And I don't, personally, I'm glad that I do have a vehicle, and I don't know the cases of people that catch Ubers or Lyft every day to go to work. I don't know if they're in a if they're probably not in a financial situation to flat out buy a vehicle, or maybe they don't want to drive, or maybe they live in an area where it's going to cost a lot more for them to drive a vehicle and maintain a vehicle, and they prefer to catch an Uber or Lyft. Everybody has their what's going on in life, and what they have to do to maintain their life. Everybody's life is different. So I can't sit up here and say, oh, don't ride in an Uber and Lyft no more because they charge you X amount of dollars. Like I said, I don't know people's situations, but I think this would, put, like, if I had to catch an Uber or Lyft, this would definitely put me in a different situation, and like say to myself, hey, maybe I do need to go get a car, or maybe I need to find a friend, or a co-worker that I can catch rides with. And let me be honest with you, you will be shocked that some of your co-workers will actually give you rides. Just imagine if you give your co-worker, I don't know, $150 a month just for catching a ride to work with them. They will be more than happy to pick you up and take you back home with for $150 a month. Because just imagine if that person is paying, $400 a month for their car note. They could take that $150 and add it onto their car note, or they can just use it for gas money for, throughout the month or throughout the week or whatever it may be. So at the end of the day, if you work somewhere and you catch an Uber or Lyft, and if you have a friend that works with you, I would suggest that you try to basically get a ride from them. Try to save your money, and get what you can get, because like I said, if the price is going up like that, I would be struggling if I didn't have a car and I had to do the Uber and Lyft. That would really hurt my pockets, because I live 30 minutes away from my job, and I'm going to estimate, I believe, from my job to work, vice versa, from my house to work, job, back and forth, it probably would cost me in the neighborhood of $25 or $30 just one. Like I said, if I'm leaving from my house, $30 to $25 going back. So you're talking about roughly $50 to $60 per day. And I work 5 days out of the week. So you do the math and times it per week, and you really see how much money you spend. And it really would affect me, at the end of the day. So imagine if somebody else is going through that situation, how much they would affect them. And it doesn't matter how much you get paid. It's still a lot of money that you're putting out just to go back and forth to work. And like I said, the bus option sounds good, but I understand if people are concerned about catching a bus and the risk of catching a bus and still dealing with what we're dealing with right now. But I would like to hear people's thoughts and concerns. And if anybody out there that actually catch Uber and Lyft, have y'all seen an increase in the charges? Have you seen an increase? Put down in the comments if you've seen an increase, and how you feel about the situation that's going on right now. Because at the end of the day, like I said, me personally, I probably wouldn't be able to do it, period. But I want to hear what y'all have to say. Leave your comments down there. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. I basically talk about multiple stories, whether it's regular stories you hear about in the news. I talk about things that go on day to day, whether it's in my life, some of the friends that I have, we talk about concerns or whatever. Just random. You'll hear a lot of random stories. I do a lot of random stories. You'll hear stories that I talk about that, of course, like this one right here, you might see this, where you see the report where they're talking about, the price changes and the increase. But if you into those type of stories, go ahead, please subscribe, leave a comment, like the videos, share the videos. I have multiple videos that I put out. Go back and look at some of the videos that I put out previously. And if y'all do subscribe, I'll see y'all in the next video. Thank you.